Now we are going to see what is the dimension of a subspace. Subspace means vector subspace. See here, each subspace W of a finite dimensional vector space Vf of dimension n is a finite dimensional space with dimension W less than or equal to n. Also, V is equal to W if and only if dimension V is equal to dimension W. So we have a finite dimensional vector space we have, and we have W as its subspace. So V is of dimension n, then dimension W will be less than or equal to n. And secondly, V is equal to W if and only if both have the same dimensions. See its proof. Let V be a finite dimensional vector space of dimension n and W be a subspace of V. Then any subset of W containing n plus 1 or more vectors is also a subset of V. No doubt, since W is a subset of V, and any subset of W will also be a subset of V. And any n plus 1 vectors in V are linearly dependent. Why? Because V is of dimension n, so any n plus 1 vectors, they will be linearly dependent. Therefore, any linearly independent set of vectors in W can contain at the most n vectors. Okay, so for W to have a linearly independent set, it must have at the most n vectors. Suppose S is equal to alpha 1, alpha 2, so on alpha m be a linearly independent subset of W with maximum number of elements. This m is not equal to n. We claim that this S is a basis of W. See the proof. If S is a linearly independent subset of W and second Ls is equal to W, let alpha be any element of W, then the m plus 1 vectors alpha, alpha 1, alpha 2, so on alpha m belongs to W are linearly dependent because we have supposed that the largest independent subset W contains m vectors. Since these m vectors are the largest set containing m vectors, and if any other vector is included in this set, then the set will be linearly dependent. Now alpha 1, alpha 2, so on alpha m and alpha is a linearly dependent set. Therefore, there exists a vector belonging to it which can be expressed as a linear combination of the preceding vectors. Since alpha 1, alpha 2, so on alpha m, they are all linearly independent. Therefore, this vector cannot be any of these m vectors. Thus, it must be alpha. Only alpha is the vector which can be written as a linear combination of alpha 1, alpha 2, so on alpha m. Thus, alpha can be expressed as a linear combination of them. Hence, Ls is equal to W, means linear span of S will be W. Therefore, the S is a basis of W. It means dimension W is equal to M and M should be less than or equal to N. Why? Because that W is a subset of V. Now, if V is equal to W, then every basis of V is also a basis of W, no doubt. Hence, dimension V will be dimension W, it is equal to N. This dimension N means, dimension W means W has a basis which has N linearly independent vectors, and dimension V is N. So both of them having basis of for both of them having N linearly independent vectors. So both of them have the same basis. It means dimension V of W, it is equal to small. Conversely, conversely, let dimension W is equal to dimension V is equal to N. Then we need to show that V is equal to W. See here, what is the theorem? V is equal to W if and only dimension V is equal to dimension W. We have taken V is equal to W and come to this conclusion: dimension V is equal to dimension W. Conversely, we will assume dimension V is equal to dimension W is equal to N and go to the conclusion V is equal to W. See, let S be a basis of W, then Ls is equal to W, obviously, and S contains n vectors. It is also true since dimension W is equal to N. Since S is also a subset of V, since S is a subset of W, therefore it will be a subset of V. And S contains n linearly independent vectors, therefore S will also be a basis of V, no doubt. Since S is having linearly independent vectors, how much? N. and S is subset of V, so at S will be a basis of V. Therefore, LS is equal to V. Hence, W is equal to V. So it is proved with